Okay, if you're watching, you know that this is Nicole and Stephanie on topic, where we open the fire hose, if you will, the floodgates, wherever you're at, and we really unload for the next couple of minutes and give you everything that we have or we like to share about how we deal with today's on topic
Influence.
positive influence or influence, I guess, because
It
some
can
people
be
think
either
of
one.
negative
It can be
influence. Right.
totally.
So we would love it if you could share, comment, just let us know where you're tuning in from, if you've seen any of the other videos. We'd like to know if you have any questions about what we're talking about. We love to learn, and we love to teach others. So go ahead and hit that comment button right now and say hello.
Light it up.
Nicole, light it up. The request line is open. No, I'm just kidding. Lead us off. What book did you bring today?
I brought Convincing Them in 90 Seconds by Nicholas Boothman.
All right. Why should we read it?
It has lots of good, helpful little tips. I'm going to go through just kind of one section, and that's influential first impressions. But it just has a lot of good pointers in there on talking to people, communicating with people, finding ways to get them to know, like, trust you.
Okay, I love that. So there is a ton of books out there, everybody. Obviously, we're going to share some of the favorites with you, and we try to find one that maybe you haven't heard of before. So I have never heard of that one before. It looked interesting. I love those. It looked kind of like a short little, not a little, it looked like a short read, like do this to do this, right?
Yeah, it is short. I read it in September of 2010. I always date my books and when I read them. So this is an old one. I dug deep into my files for this one.
Okay,
So
okay, good. The like switch is what I'm bringing to you today. The like switch. It's an ex-FBI agent's guide to influencing, attracting, and winning people by Jack Schaefer. Also a short read, it's about 150 pages. And you can, just like anything else, it's your perspective on what you want to take out of it. But there were a bunch of little nuggets in there that I'll be sharing. And then the second one is I Hear You. That one's by Michael S. Sorensen. And it's the surprisingly simple skill behind extraordinary relationships. So let's kick that off. Relationships, communication, all have something to do with practicing a positive influence. And I really think that, positive influence can be within yourself.
absolutely.
Deepak Chopra said, the way you think, the way you behave, the way you eat can influence your life for 30 to 50 years. Now, 30 to 50 years, I'm not really concerned about that. Like that's tomorrow. So the 2 or 3% that you're stretching to get better on those things is going to influence tomorrow. And so, Nicole, I want to start us off with some of the basics. And I know that you're a pro at this. When you walk into a room, people notice you, people want to be around you. And what I think that you've helped me learn is how to control my energy positively or negatively. And I think that that's the reaction that you give to others or how you see what's happening in the room and help others get better. I think that the thing that you've taught me how to do is by lead by example. Go first, right? So leaders go first, have a servant attitude, and all of these things. Like if you wrote a book, these are the chapters that I would help you put in it. And then I think people who practice and plan to have a positive influence in others' lives, I think they use their manners.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it
No
just
one
sets
likes
you
a
apart.
jerk.
It just, right? No one likes a jerk, but it just sets you apart from others. I think today, when we're recording this, 2023, I think that manners have really gone by the wayside. I mean, they've taken exit stage left in a lot of cases. So, using your manners, being in service to others, which I've already mentioned, and then having curiosity. You are so good at that. And I know we've said it before in this video, in our video chats, you're a sponge. You just like to just take it all in and then mix it up with everything else you've also learned. So those are my basics that I wanted to bring to this conversation. And there's a whole nother layer, but if you can get those 5 things down, I think that you're going to be like Nicole and really have a super positive influence over everyone you meet, and they'll be better for it.
You led right into what I want to talk about today. I mean, just like it couldn't have been a better introduction because I want to give you some of my secrets of when
Yeah.
you walk into a room. Okay.
Listen up,
So,
everybody.
all right. The first thing is you want to do is you have to be aware that as soon as you walk in, everybody's putting you through this little filter. Do they like you? Do they trust you? All that kind of stuff. We all have this automatic fight, flight, run kind of scenario. It doesn't change even though we're in a safe business setting. So when you walk in, the first thing you want to do is make sure when you meet a person is you're kind of chest to chest, heart to heart. So you're looking at them and then make eye contact. Try to see what color their eyes are. Like if they're hard to tell, don't focus too much on that because it gets a little creepy. Are those green or blue? You don't want to get creepy about it, but look long enough that you're looking into their eyes, see what
Absolutely.
color their eyes are. And then your chest to chest, when you shake hands, they want to see your hands. And that's another thing. I just learned this one the other day, but even on a Zoom, you want to show your hands within the first few seconds because it goes back to the caveman days where this fight or flight response, where people, when they met someone, they wanted to know if they had a rock or a spear, if they're going to attack them or if they're a safe person. And even though that's long ago, we still carry those things with us. And so you want to show your hands somehow. So shaking a hand, that kind of stuff. Wear your name tag on the right side because when you shake, you'll see your chest. Or on your left side, I'm sorry. Because you're going to be shaking, it could cover it up so they can still read your name. So name badge goes on your left side, shake hands. Again, when you shake hands, you don't want to be a dead fish. You don't want to be a jackhammer. You don't want to be a vice grip. Just a nice, confident handshake. No limp noodles going on here. And then the next thing is they're going to be checking out your attitude, your posture, how you own your space, what your energy feels like, all that good stuff. Let's see, what else did I have? Okay, and then here's the big secret, and this goes for everything. This isn't just first impressions. This is meetings, dates, you name it. We want to softly mimic the other person.
Okay.
Okay. So if they're talking loud, you kind of raise up a little bit to meet them. Just always be a little bit underneath them. If they're talking soft, you want to talk kind of soft. So match their voice, match their postures, match their all that kind of stuff. Because they're going to be judging you 55% on visual, 38% on audio, and only 7% of what you're actually saying.
Okay.
So they're too busy
Wow.
judging everything else to even really hear what you're saying. So really focus on some of these things the first time you're meeting somebody. Let's see. Okay, so I think that's it, really. And so that goes open heart, chest to chest, eye contact, smile, speak, and then sync with them somehow. And then I'm not going to go into this, but something I want you to think about too is your online first impression. What is
Oh,
your social media first impression? What is your website first impression when people look you up there? So, boom, there you go.
yeah.
There's my
Fire hose. So the
how to win a
power
room.
of that first impression, but then, leaving the lasting impression.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. I loved all of those things, and I was like, check, check, check. Obviously, when you are around people who are good at it, you learn that. So make sure you're putting yourself in the room to get those things done. I wanted to just have a short little activity to just really check in on your sphere of influence. You know how I love audits, but take out a piece of paper and I want you to just draw 4 circles. If your circles look like ovals like mine, that's totally fine. Eggs are fine. And above the top, I want you to put friends, field, that's your work. On the bottom, start with family, and then on the other side, put community. And just take a couple of minutes and give yourself a little audit. I want you to write specific names in those boxes. Okay. So you're writing 5 to 10 names, whatever comes easier. Set a timer for yourself, 30 seconds, yada, yada, yada. This is not supposed to be hard. Just whoever comes to mind. You're going to see why in a second. After you
So
get,
even like community, it's just what is community? What are the five there?
yeah, your church, people
Okay.
who maybe are you come into contact with, but you're not necessarily friends with. So
Okay.
strangers, the person at the bank that takes your money, takes your deposit. I don't know why I just thought about that because I always do mobile deposit, but um the cash registers,
Okay.
the flight attendant, those kind of people's in community. Heck, the person that sits next to you on the plane. Okay.
Yeah.
So community. So any of those, think about like the last week of your life and put those people down. Now I want
Okay.
you to go back and within each of them, whether this takes a separate page or you've left yourself a little bit of room inside those circles, I want you to just think about one way that you could connect or do something new with that person. This will help you plan and prepare for one more way that you can build a positive influence with those people. And so like if you're a family, if it's around relationship, if it's your partner, your spouse, um, what does that look like in that realm? How are you influencing and are you making a positive influence? Are you making their day better? How can you do that? And just really think about the quality of time that you're spending with them. What that's going to do is that's going to give you an increase in 4 of those areas. And as you know, if you've been watching us for any time, or if this is your first time, hey, we follow the 7 F's of ULA. And so friends, field, and family are going to be a top 3 that we work on. And I think that this is really, that relationship creating part. So just make sure, like I said before, are they better off for having met you? And really, like, you see the memes on social media all the time. Uh, you are as good as how you treat the whatever, the waiter. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah. Let's just
So
say
that
the
person,
lowest paid person in the room, whatever, whatever that may be. Just
right?
you are as good as you treat everyone. And that's huge. I mean, everybody, I don't care who they are. I'm going to have a conversation with them, whether they're a CEO or um, an
Well, you're
intern.
going to do all those things. You're going to meet them heart to heart. You're going to look them in the eyeball. You're going to know what color their eyes are by the time the conversation is done, and you're probably going to learn a little bit about them. Every single one of those steps that Nicole gave earlier is something we can do every time. Isn't that crazy?
Mhm.
Every time. And that just brings our sphere of influence um, greater. And so those are the things. Oh, wait. I have one more thing. So in the book, The Like Switch, it talks about a friendship formula. Okay. And
Wow.
this is kind of the first time that I've heard about this, but I also think that you can put friendship and change it for influence. And so
Yeah.
he says that friendship equals proximity plus frequency plus duration plus intensity. And
Okay.
so I think that, yes, friendship equals, but I think that influence equals too on those things. And yeah, what do you think about that?
I'm just trying to process it, and I'm a visual person, so I got to see it on paper first. But I'm just thinking frequency. Like I have some friends that I never see, but we can pick up just like we've never not seen each other. That it hasn't been 5 years since the last time we've seen each other.
Mhm.
But I think that has to do. Some of those things are different percentages. So the intensity or whatever, that was one of them in the formula. So
Yep.
our intensity might be higher. So that makes up for the lack of frequency or something like that. So everybody's percentages in that formula are different, but they all make up a good influential relationship.
Yeah. And I mean, there's not a right or wrong answer on what the equal is too. But
Right.
thinking about all of those things, which I'd never really thought, like, how close are you? which it sound to me, you know, I could take that as proximity. I'm really close to this person, but I don't get to see them a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but frequency, I'm thinking about them.
Yeah. Yeah. Sending little notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I'm
have friends all the
liking,
time,
sharing,
like,
posting on their
yeah,
social media posts and all that stuff too. So,
yeah, for sure. I
okay.
was
Well, that
thinking
just,
like every time I see something Wayne's World, I send it to my one of my best friends from college. I'm like, Lori, thought of you today, and so it's the frequency is it's not just, oh, we see each other every Thursday for drinks. It's not that kind of frequency. I like how you brought that in there. It's the thoughts frequency. It's the thinking of them, sending them a note. Yeah, cool. I like it.
yeah. And then just to kind of parlay on another quote, I just love this topic because I think that you can do a lot for the world that you'll never know that you do if you do those things that Nicole said, because you don't have to be a person of influence in order to influence others. And frankly,
Mm.
that's the best kind. The smile that you leave someone with, the praise that you give someone, like you are really good at your job. I go out of my way to tell people that um because it's 2023. Like
Yeah,
I'm
they
grateful that
don't
you
hear it very
really
often.
love your job. Wow.
Yeah.
I want to be as good at my job as you are at your job. Like,
We could do this topic every week for like a year because I had 800 other things I wanted to talk about
okay.
too. But,
Okay, we'll
you
bring
know,
it back. We'll
we'll
bring it
bring it
back.
again.
Okay, the
Yeah.
power of positive influence, it can make your day and it will certainly make others. So, any last notes?
I don't think I have it.
Okay,
Go be
perfect.
curious.
Be
Right.
curious and we will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching On Topic with Nicole and Stephanie.